Before you actually begin editing audio in Adobe Audition, let's get used to the playback and view controls as well as what we're seeing on the screen. Right now what we're seeing is I've actually added 3 different audio files to this project. Right now I'm in waveform editing mode, which means it's going to allow me to edit one waveform at a time. So currently I'm editing the Moonlight Serenade. It goes from 0 seconds to about 3 minutes and 16 seconds. You can see the actual official duration of the audio file in the duration column of the files panel. So this is basically showing the minute you open it up, the minute you get this going so that you can start editing it, it's going to show you the entire waveform from start to finish. If I double click this Glenn Miller documentary narration, I can double click it, and this is only a 48-second file, but it's still showing you the beginning all the way to the ending, even though it's significantly shorter than the Moonlight Serenade file. So when you're actually editing a waveform, the one thing you need to really pay attention to is the playhead. So the playhead is this red line. It has a little golden pick sort of thing at the top, and this is going to allow you to move backward and forward through the audio file. It's also going to show you where it's playing currently. It's going to allow you to select different things, whatnot. So if I move this forward and backward, you're going to kind of hear scrambled sound because it's going to try to show you in real time what it's sounding like. So if I move it backward, and if I move it forward, so it's kind of trying to show you, sometimes you can tell when it's scrambling through, you can tell kind of where errors are and whatnot. So that's basically how you move the playhead around. Now if you click in here and drag, it's different than clicking up here and dragging. If I click up here and drag, it's actually just moving through the audio file. If I click in here and drag, it's actually selecting a portion of it. So be really careful with that, because if you select a portion of it and then accidentally hit the delete key on your keyboard, there's a potential that you won't actually even realize that you just deleted a big portion of your audio file. So in general, move your playhead using this pick up here, and if you want to select, then you click in here and click and drag to make a selection. Now, sometimes I want to see specific chunks. Like if I really was editing this first piece of it and he made a mistake with one of the words, or there's kind of a really big inhale or exhale, it's really hard to edit right now because I'm seeing the entire length of the audio file. So what I need to do is come down here to the zoom control. We have a zoom in and zoom out for the amplitude. That's kind of the spikes that you're seeing here. And then we also have the zoom in time and zoom out in time. Now when you hover over it, you can see the keyboard shortcut. So the zoom in is going to be the equal key and the zoom out is going to be the minus key. So let's just hit this a couple of times and it's going to allow us to zoom in to time. So if I want to edit this chunk right here, it's a lot easier now because everything's kind of stretched out. As you can see, it starts at 0 seconds, but now it only goes to 12.5. The rest of the audio file is there, but I'm just seeing this particular 12 seconds of time for this audio file. If I want to see different spots of that audio file, I can drag this slider up here so I can go all the way from 0 to the end, which is at 48 seconds. The little red line that you see here, you can also see in this slider control so that you can go back to wherever your playhead is playing. Now, increasing the amplitude is weird because you can increase the amplitude by actually changing the sound, because an amplitude is showing you spikes to where it gets really loud versus really quiet. So anytime you see a tall spike, that means it gets loud at that point. Increasing the amplitude is actually going to change the volume level. But what if we just want to see bigger spikes? We don't want it to get louder. We just want to see those spikes and kind of more drastic so that it's easier to edit. Well, that's where you can use these controls to zoom in or zoom out to the amplitude. So let's go ahead and zoom in and see how it's making those spikes bigger. It doesn't change the actual audio level at all. It just kind of stretches them out so that it's easier to edit and we can see kind of the gaps between. So these are personal preference. You choose how you want to watch or look at this actual audio file. And again, you have all these different keyboard shortcuts that you should get used to because you're going to be doing this all the time. Now the playback control, you can use these regular controls down here. You can stop it, play it, You can use the pause button, but again, as you can see, every time you hover over them, it will show you what the keyboard shortcuts are, because most people, when they're editing audio, they use the shortcuts way more frequently than they actually press a button. A couple of these to note: the red record button, don't hit that if you're in here if you don't intend to record, because if you select something here and actually accidentally hit that, it's going to try to record over this portion of the audio. Now, another cool feature of this is I can highlight this little section right here, and I can hit the loop, and notice when I create a selection, the playhead goes to the very beginning. Then what I can do is I can hit the space bar, and it's going to play only what's in that current selection. And if I hit this loop button, it's going to keep playing it and keep playing it and keep playing it. So that's going to help me when I get into tricky spots with editing. So let's go ahead and play it.
Glenn Miller's.
So that could be really helpful when you're kind of in a spot where you're really trying to figure out where you should edit, where you should cut, where you should silence, whatnot. So I'll take that loop feature off. Now, what I do is I actually don't use these controls at all. I use the keyboard shortcut. So if I want to play it, I'll hit the spacebar, and if I want to stop it, I'll hit the spacebar again. So I'll hit spacebar to start.
Represents a contradiction.
And spacebar to stop. Now, in addition, something that you don't see here is you can use the J, K, and L keys on your keyboard to move forward, backward, and to pause. So the J key is going to move things backward, so to the left. The K key is going to pause it, and the L key is going to move it forward. So if I hit the J key once, it's going to play it backwards, and then if I hit the K key, it's going to pause it. So let's see that. And then K to stop it. So if I hit the L key, it's going to move it forward in real time.
History of jazz represents a contradiction.
And the K key is going to pause it. Now watch what happens when I hit the L key twice. The first time it's going to move it in real time, and the second time it's going to make it go a lot faster. So every time you hit the J or the L key multiple times, it's going to go faster and faster and faster. So I'll hit the L key once.
Though many jazz enthusiasts disapprove of his discipline.
Okay, and one more time.
Though many jazz enthusiasts
disapprove of his disciplined, unorthodox approach.
And K to pause. So those are the basic playback controls and view controls that you need to be aware of and get used to when you're working in Adobe Audition.